Hello friends, Ellen here, and if you are new, welcome. If you are not, welcome back. For a second, I thought I said that in the wrong order, but we're good today. I am so excited today because I want to talk about something that I truly feel if you are struggling with your habits, if you're struggling with your routines, if you are finding resistance in those parts of your life, this trick today is going to be insanely helpful and is going to help you get unstuck and get through that resistance. And I'll just get straight to it. The tip and the trick that I'm talking about is awareness. I am going like so chill, so low key for this video. I do not feel like putting up my entire setup for my YouTube videos. I don't have my normal microphone, so sound might be a little bit different. I'm literally just recording this with my phone on impulse because this is something that I really want to talk about. I think awareness is a superpower when it comes to optimizing and make your habits and your routines work for you. And when I say awareness, what I really mean is like listening to yourself and what is coming up for you as you are trying to engage in a routine or in a habit that you want to cultivate for yourself. And to kind of illustrate this, I have a couple different examples. The first of which is doing 75 hard. I did 75 hard last summer. I have definitely recorded content on it. I definitely think 75 hard can be a great, challenge for you, but I also just don't like the be perfect aspects of 75 hard. But that's not what this is about. I want to tell you an awareness that I had during my experience with 75 hard that made doing the challenge infinitely easier for me. So when I was doing 75 hard, my outdoor workout, you have to do a workout every day, at least one that is outside for 45 minutes. And my outdoor workout was oftentimes a walk. I have enough residual injuries from playing soccer growing up that I really can't push myself with two crazy intense workouts every single day. My body gets too stiff and I start to get overuse injuries pretty easily, especially because of my past injuries. So I would just go for a walk in the morning, get myself outside, get that outdoor workout in, get some, kind of low-key physical activity in. But I was finding more and more as I was doing 75 hard that getting outside at the end of the day to do that walk was damn near impossible. I was so tired, so checked out, just wanted to collapse on my couch and watch Netflix at the end of the day. And getting outside, even if it was really nice out, getting outside to go on a walk was really, really, really hard for me to do. So I thought about that. That was the point of resistance that was coming up for me. And that's kind of the first question to ask yourself is, what is the point of resistance that is coming up in this habit or this behavior or is this routine? And in that instance, the point of resistance was I didn't want to leave my house at the end of the day when I was tired and when I had been working on my business or in my day job all day. So when I kind of thought about, okay, what can I change to address and to overcome this point of resistance? And as soon as I made space to kind of troubleshoot it, which that's kind of another big part of this, we have to make space to troubleshoot. As soon as I did, suddenly it became so obvious, the fix that I needed to make. Instead of forcing myself to work out in the evening to get that outdoor workout done in the evening, I would just go for a walk in the morning. And so I tried that for a short period of time and I actually found that I absolutely loved it. I loved how few people were out. I liked that it was a little bit cooler. I liked that it was, a good way to wake myself up at the start of the day. I really liked just that being the start to my day. And it immediately moved that point of resistance that I kept coming up against. So that was definitely a time where I learned so much by recognizing what the point of resistance was, being aware of what that point of resistance was, making space for myself to troubleshoot, and then allowing that experimentation to figure out, okay, is this going to work? In that situation, it worked great. Switching to start of the day to do that walk worked great. But I also have another example that's like a non-fitness example. This is more like a routines example. And in this situation, I'm talking about my morning routine. So with my morning routine, again, one of the points of resistance that was coming up for me is I started, I think it was sometime this past fall, I started to journal on Notion. Now, I used to be somebody who was like, do not journal on a computer, do pen to paper, blah, 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 blah. I now no longer think there's a right way to journal. Whatever way you will show up and do is the right way for you to journal. And I got to the point where journaling pen to paper just wasn't happening, but journaling on Notion was. And so I switched my morning routine to journal on Notion. But what I started learning is as soon as I sat down to journal, like as soon as like my butt hit my computer chair and I sat down to journal, it was really hard to then pull myself away for the other activities that I wanted to incorporate into my morning routine, like stretching, like my workouts. It was really hard to sit down to journal and then pull myself away to go do those things. But that had been how I'd been doing my morning routine for forever. I would do my meditation and then I would journal immediately after meditating. And I kind of had it in my head that that's how my morning routine needed to be. And so I kind of did what I did before. I asked myself, okay, what's the point of resistance? What is coming up? How can I fix this? What are some different things that I can try to make this change, to make this routine feel better? And I realized the point of resistance was when I sat down in my chair, or kind of the mental hurdle that I was struggling to overcome, was when I sit down in my desk chair, it feels in my brain like it is time to switch into work mode. It is time to start checking things off the to-do list. And pulling myself away from that, that's where the resistance was coming from. You know, I am very type A. I am very high achieving. I actually actively build quick wins into my to-do list because that dopamine that I get from starting to check things off my to-do list just feels so good. And when my butt hits my desk chair, it's like ready. I am mentally making the switch to get into work mode, you know? So my computer's right here. If you were like, why does she keep directing this way? My computer's right here. But that's what I was facing. So I decided, okay, what if I did the things in my morning routine in a different order? Instead of doing, you know, meditation, journaling, and then reading, what if I did my reading first? This is actually another shift that I made, is I realized if I start my day on meditating, I had a tendency to fall asleep because I was just waking up. So I would fall asleep in my, you know, on my couch, in my bed, on my meditation cushion, wherever I was meditating. I was often like half asleep when I was doing it. So I decided, okay, what if I read first and then I meditate? And then since I read and I meditate over in my living room, what if I do my stretching and I do my workout before I journal? So then I don't have to deal with that resistance of having to pull myself away from my computer. So I started experimenting with that. What I also started doing, this is like another pro tip when it comes to trying to, you know, develop that awareness and figure out what are the changes that you need to make to your habits and your routines. The other thing that I did is when I had a routine, like a morning that just felt amazing, I would write that down. What did I do? What felt really good about it? So if I had a morning, I was like, oh my God, I want this every morning. This felt so good. If I had that feeling, I would go in and I would write down what I did and what felt good about it. In fact, I had one of those like last Friday as I'm recording this, and it was kind of similar. I woke up, I had gotten to bed on time. I had woke up and it was a very easy wake up. I felt very rested. I didn't want to stay in bed for longer. And I got up and I read like a chapter. I meditated on my meditation cushion. I immediately went from meditating to watching a stretching video on YouTube, which is something I've been loving building into my mornings. Like if that's actually something you want to hear a little bit more about, like what specifically is my morning routine, drop a comment below and I can potentially record a video on that of what I do in the morning now that I'm kind of optimizing my morning routine. It looks a little different than it did, you know, even like 6 months ago. But I watch a YouTube video and I stretch to that YouTube video, and then I'll usually go do my workout. And then I, you know, eat my breakfast. I can literally see my bowl just off the screen. I eat my breakfast, I drink my coffee, and then as I'm doing that, I go through my to-do list and I journal and I do all of that stuff. So that's like typically my morning routine. And I had that last Friday and I was just like, ooh, this order of events, this order of activities really, really works. So that is another thing that you can do to start building your awareness. So if there's two things I want you to take from this video, I gave you two different examples, the 75 hard example and my morning routine example. If there's anything I want you to take from this video, it's this. If you are feeling a point of resistance in your habits or routines, don't ignore it. A lot of us tend to feel like, oh, I just need to be more disciplined and show up and push through. Don't do that in this situation. Let's make our habits and routines actually feel good. So if you have that point of resistance, make some space in your life and try to navigate what is the resistance? What's the resistance that is coming up here? Again, my 75 hard, it was that I didn't want to leave my house at the end of the day after working a really long day. With my morning routines, it was really hard to pull myself away from my desk to go get my workout in. You know, what is the point of resistance? And then ask yourself, what are some things I could do to either minimize or mitigate that resistance altogether? And just brainstorm some different ideas and then experiment. I think the benefit of being a former scientist is that my brain is always thinking in terms of experiments. Like, I'm just testing this out. If it doesn't work, okay, whatever. If it does work, awesome. But just experiment, try some different things, and whatever starts to minimize that resistance, that's the goal. That's the end game. That's what we want. And then the other takeaway from this is, if you do have a time where your habit goes really, really smoothly, or your routine just feels like perfect and you did it a little differently, make note of what that is so that you can start more actively building that into your schedule. Okay. So that's my tip. That is my, pro tip for if you are experiencing resistance and stuckness and your habits and routines aren't working, just become aware. Focus on building awareness. Awareness is a superpower when it comes to optimizing your habits and routines for you. And it's going to make it so that you can overcome that resistance and make your habits and routines not only feel better, but make them actually stick. So that is all I've got for you today. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for watching. If you are enjoying what you're seeing on this channel, once again, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button. I know this was like a very low key video. I literally just propped up my phone on my desk and started recording, like whatever. But if you are liking what you're seeing, please like and subscribe. Drop any comments if you've got any requests for things you'd like to see from me in the future. But other than that, I will see you next time, friends.